We want to thank you for your participation today, and we want to open it up to questions at this point. And I see somebody is typing a question here. Okay, the question is, to qualify for developmental preschool, you have to hit 2 of the domains that we listed. Yes, that is accurate. So they would need to meet the eligibility criteria. Let me pull that back up. Well, it depends, actually. For developmental delay and preschool severe delay, yes, it would need to be a deficit depending on which eligibility category in 2 or more of these areas. You could theoretically qualify for developmental preschool with speech and language only, but that's going to be up to the individual districts themselves. Some districts are just providing speech and language services, once a week rather than those children going into the developmental preschool. Good question. Thank you, Kelly. And also, to get more information on that, Kelly, the Arizona Department of Education has all of the eligibility criteria for those categories on slide, what is it?
Thank you.
I'll just go back here real quick. Yeah, the Arizona Department of Education has eligibility criteria for each of these, and you can go look and see, specifically what they need to be eligible for those services under that. And certainly, if you're working with parents that have any kind of confusion over this process, we do have family support specialists located all over the state, and we'd be more than happy to connect with them and talk them through the process, and even connect them with another parent if that's appropriate. And you can see the Referring Families to Raising Special Kids document there. It's a real easy way to refer families to us. It gives us permission to call them. What's the difference between natural resources, priorities, and interests?
Oh, good question, Sarah. The differences are, so let's refer back to the slide that we were on for Chris. That's going to be slide number.
Child and Family Assessment?
Yes, it's going to be number 11.
This one? Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. So natural resources are going to be those things that already exist in the family's life that is a strength that the team can draw from. An interest is an area where a family wants more information. So, for example, they're looking for childcare, they're wanting more opportunities for their kids to play with other children, those kinds of things. So that's an area of interest. Yes.
Let's jump in with some examples of what natural resources could be too.
Oh, yes.
So natural resources are not only things, it's also people. So
right.
A natural resource a family might have is their neighborhood park. That might be a place that they can go to that can help their child in their early intervention program. A natural resource could also be the grandparent. If the child spends a couple hours a day with the grandparent or sees them regularly on weekends. Natural resources can be a number of things that already exist within that family's life that they can utilize to assist in their early intervention program.
Right. And yes, and another example would be an existing play group that's already in their neighborhood. That would be a natural resource. The priority, the difference between that is that's what the family has indicated is what they've expressed need for the more home and community participation and inclusion. So in other words, we've talked about routines and activities that we've identified in that child and family assessment, those normal routines and activities that they do, like for example, the normal things that they do throughout their day, and then and whenever they express the need for more home and community participation and more inclusion, for example, the grocery shopping, that would be a priority.
That was identified as a priority for
exactly.
for Juan and Mercedes. And that's what the team ultimately built a functional outcome around. Okay, let's go up a little bit. Absolutely, Rosemary. You can refer families to us at any time. We are a comprehensive family resource center. We try to meet parents where they are and help them understand and navigate systems. We also have a very robust parent-to-parent program that helps connect families of children with similar diagnosis. So maybe we have a newly diagnosed mom of a child with autism that doesn't have any access to other parents. We can help connect her to another mom of a child with autism. So that's a very good referral, Rosemary. Good question, Jamie. What's the difference between your early intervention team and your IFSP team? Your early intervention team consists of your core team. So every child's going to have a DSI, a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, and a physical therapist. So those 4 people, and the service coordinator, and the parent. So those are the core team members and the parent. With the IFSP team, you may not have the physical therapist at that meeting or the occupational therapist if the bulk of the services are really being provided through the DSI and the speech. Also, the early intervention team is not defined in IDEA rules and regulations. So that's another key difference, is that the IFSP team has certain people that have to be there. The early intervention team operates under the AZIP policies and procedures, and they have a requirement to team and meet quarterly to talk about each child that's on their caseload. But as we talked about earlier, teams are going to share members. Generally, your early intervention team members are going to be, not all of them all of the time, but are going to be participating in your IFSP development. I do see somebody typing again, so we'll just hold off a little bit. Oh, just a thank you very much. Well, thank you, Jamie, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Again, feel free to call Raising Special Kids anytime, question, or if you want to refer a family, or if you know anybody that could benefit from our services.